Hi, this is Michael P. Coleman, Content Director for Brother Be Well. Thanking you for checking out this series, this trauma and healing series brought to you by Blue Shield of California's Blue Sky Initiative.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hi, I'm Michael P. Coleman, Content Director for Brother Be Well. Today, in one of a series of conversations on trauma and healing made possible by the support of Blue Shield of California's Blue Sky Initiative, we're discussing a number of holistic pathways to healing, including exercise, breath work, natural medications, and maybe surprising to some of you, food. Joining me for this conversation on holistic healing pathways is integrated behavioral health specialist and Brother Be Well clinical advisor, Julio Cruz. Julio, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, Mike?
Really good. Always good to see you. Always look forward to these conversations,
Likewise.
Julio. Let's get at it, man. When we're putting these podcasts and videos together, and you know this, we put them together on any one of a number of topics, behavioral health topics. We really try to break it down for those of us who are not clinicians. I am certainly not. I know a lot of our listeners and viewers are not as well. So, in that spirit, would you please define holistic healing for the Brother Be Well family?
Absolutely. I think that whenever I have the opportunity to meet with people about why it is important to have a holistic approach, and I get that look like, what do you mean? Right? Uh, I think that we have to look at our health in every single aspect of our lives, whether it's like my physical health, mental health, spiritual health, social health. No, because we don't live in little silos everywhere in our body or our brain. Everything that we put in our body, whether it's what we listen to, what we eat, what we drink, the environment that we're at, medications, and all of that, is going to impact how we feel. So then we have to address everything as a whole. Like, what makes you Michael? What makes me Julio? Right? Because what makes me tickle and what my body needs, my mind needs, is different from what you need. So
Mhm.
it's addressing every aspect of your life, thinking about you as an individual and the things that you need to feel well, to feel healed, to feel rested.
And you may have touched on this just now, Julio, but I want you to dig just a little deeper, if you would. Why is that so important to you? Because, many people don't really see the connections. One of the reasons we wanted you here for this conversation is I knew you could really bring it home for us. But I'm curious now, why is that so important? Why do you think it's so important that we look at the whole picture, so to speak?
Absolutely. I think that one of the passions that I have as an integrated care provider is to make sure that we look at what the person needs, what is happening to them, right? If I start talking to somebody about, like, hey, I think that there's a lot of stressors in your life, and I think that you have to go home and put some candles, create a good environment, but I don't even ask them if they have a home to go to. We know how many people, especially in our communities, are experiencing homelessness, right? Do they have enough food to eat? Do they have something to put in their bodies to nourish themselves? Do they have a bus pass? Do they have gas to make it to work? Do they have a job? Do they feel safe at home? Do they have the medication they need to heal whatever is going on with their bodies? If you are diabetic, if you have a heart condition, do you have somebody to talk to? Do you have a spiritual guide? Do you have any spiritual practices to make sure that I get to know who you are, so then I can see, you know, if something's missing, if you don't have enough food, there's no way your body's gonna heal. If you don't have a place to call your home, the rest of the priorities are going to take second place. So we have to look at the whole picture of who you are in order to address the different components and see, hey, maybe we don't have the solution for you to have a house, but what about we give you some resources for a shelter, for a respite, some place that you can go and rest, sit down, feel safe, so you can release some of those tensions. Your body can start healing. You can feel safe. You can be with mind-like people. You know.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got to say, the person on the other side of that conversation from you, Julio, the people that are lucky enough to have you in that service provider role, they're very lucky because I can feel how much you care about the people that you serve, that you work with. So it's really beautiful to hear.
Thank you.
Let's get at you're very welcome. Thank you. Let's get at a handful of some of those holistic healing pathways, if you would. Let's start with exercise. I'm curious, how does exercise help us heal from trauma?
I believe that even when we reach out to get something, when we move around, there is times that we're like so used to being in front of a computer or to be on our phones or like sitting somewhere without moving that there's something lacking. I don't know how, like, just a simple experience about like going for a walk, smelling the fresh air on the street, the plants, getting a little bit of vitamin D, all of that is going to make you feel better. That's what your body needs. Like you start moving around and then you get a better flow of blood in your body, your muscles start getting stronger. There's a need to process everything and get like all the components of what makes you like your blood, your the chemicals in your brain, your eyes start exercising. Every part of your body gets engaged by doing a physical activity.
Got it. Got it. And as long as we're talking about exercise, I want to drill down just a little bit deeper on a specific exercise, tension and trauma releasing exercises. I've learned that they assist the body in releasing deep muscular patterns of stress, tension, and trauma. The exercises activate a natural reflex mechanism, I'm told, of shaking or vibrating
Mhm.
that releases muscular tension and calms us down. I was really fascinated by this. Julio, as an integrated behavioral health specialist, yay or nay? Give us your professional
I
take.
think that I'm not an expert in TRE. However, some of the techniques of tension releasing exercises are used for like brief interventions when you're talking to somebody who may be experiencing something traumatic or somebody who is very escalated or anxious, right? Our natural response, the natural response of our body is when we don't feel safe, when we experience that flight or fight, we get tense, right? When we don't feel safe, when we are angry, we usually tense our hands. And just the simple fact of releasing them, you can feel it. Like even right now, if you don't have anything happening, I want you to tense your hands really hard, like when you're mad and you feel that shake, and then let go and just move them. You can feel the change in how your body and your brain start reacting, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes when you're feeling anxious, like one of the things that I do is like I tense my feet. I like crawl my toes inside my shoe, feeling the ground, and then I let go. I stretch my legs and I tense them really hard so then they can feel that release of like, we are safe, we're okay, we don't need to be anxious, there is no danger that is present. Like all that tension that our bodies go through when we're in danger, when we're angry, is a way to like start getting all that adrenaline to give us that rush that we need, right? Whether it's for fighting or flying. But if you just let go, you can feel it. I don't. Can you tell me how you felt when you did that exercise?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you use that exercise because it just a couple days ago I was on a drive over to the Bay Area, and just before I had to get in the car, something came up, and I was just livid about it. I was so angry, and in fact, I was so angry I almost canceled the trip because I didn't want to be driving, and I find myself gripping that steering wheel, and then I couldn't let go of the wheel, but I just kind of tried to relax my hands a little bit. I could feel the tension in my arms, and the release of that did kind of change. I did it over and over, and I did some breath work in the car too, and we're gonna get into breath work in a second. But I could feel the release, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to ask you about that. It's really fascinating to learn about, and I'm going to read a little bit more about it, and would encourage you, if you're fascinated, check it out. read a little bit more about it, we'll put some resources up on our website as well. Julio, let's talk about, we touched on breathing just now, so I want to talk about breathing. We've got Grace Cecilio as our mindfulness expert at Brother Be Well, and I don't think it's an overstatement to say she has taught me how to breathe better. I didn't know until I started to work with her, and she does a monthly meditation workshop at brotherbewell.com the last Monday of the month. Grace is amazing at kind of retraining us on how to use our breath to relieve stress and tension and anxiety. So I want to get your take on that. How does breathing, just breathing, help us to heal?
Breathing is an amazing thing that we do without thinking about it. And because of that, also, we run the risk of not realizing how important it is, right? Once again, depending on the emotions that you're experiencing, whatever is going on in your body, in your mind, your physical health, your environment, there's moments that we can find ourselves go like, and we realize that we weren't breathing for a couple of seconds, right? Or like that. Also, when we are agitated, when somebody makes us mad, we start going, and that gives us the opportunity to slow down, stop, and we think about the way you're breathing, how it manages everything that is happening inside of you, how your brain doesn't have to go into that feeling of like, I'm needing oxygen, I'm in danger. Once again, it's like all these messages that we send to our brain, to our body, our spirit about like the way we breathe, about the way we tense our bodies right now. Like there is like a lot of practitioners who use grounding exercises that um, utilize breathing because of that reason, right? Whenever I facilitate groups, if I feel that people are talking a lot about things that are triggering the way they experience trauma, I take a minute to be like, hey, let's just slow down for a second. Let's just put everything aside, put your hands on the table, feel the ground, and take a moment to just inhale really deeply, right? I just go, making sure you feel that air, and then breathe again and hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. There you go. You start feeling the flow of blood in a different way in your body. You almost feels like something was taken away from you, that heaviness. And then you can, it's kind of like a reset button in your computer. Sometimes we're like trying to like make some windows close, and then there's another one that got stuck, and we're like rats. And there's times that the only thing that works is like pressing that power button and just restart, reboot everything. That's the way I feel about like stopping everything, making sure that I'm breathing properly, and then start again.
I love
I
it.
think that is amazing how we don't pay attention to the things, and sometimes making an effort to do it right can help the way we feel, the way we approach different things, and the way we treat ourselves.